this week, and the ball is flying out of Nats Park. Ryan Zimmerman has 3 in the series, including a 470-foot monster yesterday. But the Mets have the most significant blasts and won the first 2 games. Today, Joe Ross looks to turn the tide, while Thor stands in the way for the resurgent Mets.
It is hot at the yard today, really muggy, and the Nats need one. They want to salvage a game out of this series. Big Nats fan. FP told me to say that. At the yard today, cooling people off, and we are looking forward to a good battle today, Joe Ross and Noah Syndergaard. First of all, the real downer is the fact it's now official, and the Nats are without Adam Eaton probably for the whole year.
Yeah, the intangibles, what he brings to the table. We always talked about he was the first man in, wearing down a pitcher. I like what Ryan Zimmerman said yesterday. Name 10 leadoff hitters in the big leagues right now. You really can't. The Nats have 2 of them, so they're going to miss Adam Eaton, but they're lucky to have Trey Turner.
And they're lucky to have Ryan Zimmerman going the way he is right now. It's unbelievable. He leads Major League Baseball and the National League in just about every important offensive category there is out there. And FP, it's not a flash here or a flash there. It's consistently day to day.
He's doing everything. He's getting infield hits, hitting the ball over the wall. Just his body language and confidence has been fun for me to watch, and we're happy for Ryan that he's healthy and playing this well.
Noah Syndergaard sporting amazing control this year. Look at that, 30 strikeouts, has not walked a batter. Second best start in big league history, 2-3 against the Nats. And Joe Ross wants to come back from a rough outing in Colorado and pitch the way he did first time out in Atlanta.
Neither has won a game against the other in their own ballpark. It's 85 degrees. Yeah, the humidity's up and we can feel it. It's 1:34. Joe Ross is ready a minute ahead of time, and here we go. Inside to Michael Conforto, and the game's underway.
Third start of the year for Joe Ross. 5 earned runs on 7 hits and 4 2/3 against the Rockies last start. Nats won that one 15-12. So the stat I've been waiting to tell you since we got here this morning, Joe Ross in 2 starts has had 14 runs of support and 15 runs of support. So 29 runs in Joe Ross's 2 starts by the offense. That would be something if it happens against Noah Syndergaard.
Exactly. I'm thinking, yeah, we haven't faced Syndergaard in those 2 games. And there's a swing and a foul by Conforto, who's had a great series. 4 for 8, a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs, a walk, 2 homers yesterday, accounting for 3 runs batted in. And it's quite simple. The Nats pitchers have to keep the ball in the yard. The Mets score between 20 and 25% of their runs with the home run. Swing and a miss on a diving slider. And you wouldn't know the Mets are hitting only .216 and 10th in runs the way they've hacked in this series. So Reyes coming up, and then Jay Bruce, still the most home runs among active left-handed hitters. And that goes back 10 years. Walker Granderson, the Riveras, and Matt Reynolds, a rookie just called up from Las Vegas, is in the lineup today. Here's Reyes playing shortstop today as Asdrubal Cabrera gets the day off. And Jose's had a good series. He's batting .500, had a home run yesterday that got the Mets further out in the lead than the Nats wanted. Still hitting .173, but from the left side, he's about 30 points better. 19th year in the big leagues for the crew chief. Ted Barrett has the plate. Angel Hernandez, Lance Barksdale, John Tumpain on the bases. .2-0. And it's good to see 95 attached to the Joe Ross fastball.
Yeah, last start he averaged 90, and we saw a lot of 88s and 89s in Colorado, and maybe just as a pitcher you go through a dead arm period, especially when it's your 2nd start of the year. So that's a good sign. First start his fastball averaged 93.
Reyes, hot shot. That's a fair ball. Zimmerman couldn't get to it, and Reyes has to be thinking 3. Bryce Harper has a long way to go just to get to it, and it's a 1-out triple for Reyes. His first triple of the year.
I don't think Ryan Zimmerman thought this was a fair ball. He's talking to Angel Hernandez as we speak. I mean, that's way in foul territory, but it's where it goes over the bag, so hard to tell from all these angles.
Jose Reyes with his 122nd career triple. And a big spot for Joe Ross early and Jay Bruce. Shift is on. Murphy way out in right field. Jay Bruce can get his 15th RBI by just bumping a ground ball to the left of Joe Ross. .2-0. Up in the zone for a strike.
If you're pitching for a pop-up or a strikeout here, Noah Syndergaard on the mound today, you don't want to give up too many runs. Pretty stingy pitcher.
And Bruce with an RBI, and it's cleanly through for a single. Mets on top.
You check out the pitch from Joe Ross to Bruce. I think it might have been a changeup, and Bruce did a nice job of staying through this. Bat in the strike zone a long time. Watch him extend and just flip it right in between the shift. One on, one out.
That was Jay Bruce's second hit of the series. Here's Neil Walker. And Bruce, a very short lead to the plate with the heater. Strike one. Trey Turner playing up the middle, not a dramatic shift. And Joe's got some swing and miss stuff going with the sliders so far.
So the defense for the Nats behind Joe Ross today. Worth, Taylor, Harper outfield, Turner, Rendon left side, Murphy, Zimmerman right side, and Matt Wieters back behind the plate today. There he is.
Oh-2, looking for a ground ball. Long hold, despite the short lead and time given.
Yeah, that hold designed to mess up the hitter's timing. He's not trying to disrupt Jay Bruce at first. He's not going anywhere.
Right. Showed you those first inning runs. Those were at Atlanta. Joe had a 1-2-3 first inning at Coors Field his last start. 0-2, target away. Good pain out that way. It's hit right at Rendon. He'll make a turn and throw. And Trey Turner tried to turn the double play. So they go 5-6 on the force out.
You remember when Trey Turner used to play second base a little bit? He just turned into a second baseman because of the shift there. Good communication by these two. Watch Turner at the middle. Just go to the bag. There's no way Daniel Murphy could get there. He's too far over. And then in essence, Trey Turner is a second baseman here with a turn. Good feed by Rendon. Neil Walker just too fast.
Here's Curtis Granderson. 3 for 10 career with an RBI against Joe Ross. Kind of interesting, and I know you've been watching the graphics as the hitters go by. Coming into today, Bruce 1 for 9, Walker 0 for 8, Granderson 0 for 8. It's Conforto at the top, and then the guys at the bottom of the order who've been doing the damage. Check swing. Ross has it. Top of the first is over. Triple by Reyes, a single by Bruce, and Trey Turner about to lead off as the Nats will face Noah Syndergaard. Second level behind the mezzanine here at Nationals Park. Hot day, muggy day, and a day the ball will be flying if you can connect. Michael A. Taylor 3 for 5, a double a run scored yesterday. So Michael more than doubled his hit total for the season. In the original lineup, he was batting second today, but he's 7th with Jason Worth and him having flip-flopped. The other regulars are in there. Noah Syndergaard, 2 for 3 career, 2 and 3 career against the Nats.
The last start was on the 20th for Noah Syndergaard. He's got some bicep tendonitis that's kind of inflaming his shoulder. He says once he gets going, he gets loose, he's fine. But you look at his average speeds this season: fastball 98.1, slider 92.2, changeup 90. Read the bottom note: fastest among all MLB starters, all those average speeds.
Fast, fast, fast. Strike one on a fast ball, 99. On top of that, he has struck out 30 batters and not walked anybody in his first 26 innings. Very impressive. Last guy to do anything like that, Adam Wainwright, in 13 with St. Louis, 35 strikeouts before a walk. And the other guys on that list: Fergie Jenkins, Mike Mussina as a Yankee, and Greg Maddux. Turner 2 for 8 with a couple of walks in the series. And Syndergaard strikes out Turner looking on a heater, up and away as far as the strike zone goes.
Here's your defense for the Mets today: Conforto, Granderson, Bruce, your outfield; Reyes, Reynolds left side; Walker, T.J. Rivera right side; Rene Rivera catching. Yeah, Noah Syndergaard couldn't lift his arm over his head after his last start. It was hurting him that bad. The Mets said, hey, let's get an MRI. And Syndergaard said, no, I know my body. I'm fine. I don't need an MRI.
Wow.
See, he's throwing 100. He doesn't need an MRI.
They do need to figure out what caliber bullet that is. Oh my gosh, can he throw the ball? And the guy's only 24 years old. 1-1 to Worth. Jason 2 for 17 career against him. A base hit and a walk in this series. Something happened here Friday and yesterday that hadn't happened to the Nationals pitching staff in a long time, and Worth is going to plug the gap in right center. Great play by Jay Bruce to get there to keep Jason Worth at first base. So you put his last 2 hits together, that rocket off the wall and left yesterday in this one, and suddenly Adam Worth is swinging it.
He took that fastball in, upper 90s. It was 100 mile an hour coming in, 101 going out. And when we initially did our lineups today, Michael A. Taylor was hitting second. Then we got a late note that Jason Worth probably wanted to hit second. And I like seeing Jason hit in the first inning, sandwiched between Bryce and Trey. I think it's a good move by Jason Worth and Dusty Baker to have him at the top. Oh, and there goes a no-hitter.
Truck just told me I called him Adam Worth. So that one's for you, Mr. Eaton. We're going to miss him so much. Here's Harper. Bryce started, looked like he stopped. Some success against Syndergaard, 5 for 18, couple of RBIs.
Call Madam Harper, get a hit. Keep it going. I'm superstitious.
Adam Zimmerman on deck.
There you go.
You know, baseball wouldn't allow it, I'm sure, but if you would have asked every guy in that clubhouse, they probably would have wanted the last name of Eaton to be on each one of their jerseys today.
Well, I mean, he meant a lot to this ball club.
Absolutely.
It wasn't about numbers, where he hit the order. It was his approach to the game on a daily basis, how hard he played, and what he brought to the table. So he's going to be missed. I had fun watching him play for a month.
Oh, my gosh.
I was digging what he brought to the party.
2-0 to Harper, ball 3.
You know, some guys just show up to the party. And then they eat all your food and drink all your drinks. And they don't bring anything. Eaton brought the whole truck to the party of everything.
Yeah. Then he cleaned up afterwards for you.
Last guy to leave. First guy there.
Will Bryce have the green light here early in the game? Low and away. 2 on, 1 out.
He walked somebody.
How about that?
His first walk of the year, Noah Syndergaard. Get the bullpen up. He's losing it.
After 31 strikeouts, and our truck knew that that would jinx him. Player of the month candidates. How about the middle of the order for the Nats, and then Eric Thames having a phenomenal start for the Brew Crew in Milwaukee. It's all brought to you by Jeep, and today we show that to you because it is the last day of April. Nats have a chance to go 17-8 this month. They'll have to come from behind slightly. And here's Ryan Zimmerman, 5 for 8, 3 homers in the series, 6 RBIs.
Where's this going and how hard is it going? Maybe how far too.
13 for 28 over his last 7 games, 8 homers in 10 games.
I don't know, either one of those.
Ryan 2 for 11 career against Syndergaard. .100 MPH here in the first inning. Pitchers won't have any trouble getting loose on a day like this. Big crowd. Ballpark looks great. Folks still coming in. That's just under 32,000 a game on average. Zimmerman up the middle. Here comes Worth. He will score. And Ryan Zimmerman has 28 RBIs. And this is the 25th game of the year. We're tied.
Forgot to draw the arrow up the middle. The line. My bad.
It's all right.
Brian picked me up. Unbelievable. You just don't think see ball, hit ball, stay whatever cocoon and world you're in right now, because we are enjoying watching it, Ryan Zimmerman. Every time up, barrel to the baseball. Couldn't elevate this one because he went down and got it. If it was belt high, it'd be in the seat somewhere the way he's going. Good hustle by Jason Worth. And the Nats answer, like you said, 1-1. All right. Adam Zimmerman.
Here's Adam Murphy. Atta baby.
Don't change. Line's moving. Are you sure that's Murphy?
Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in. Daniel 2 for 7, a walk in the series. Still hitting .337. He has gone clean shaven.
Ish. What, Clippers?
It's a handsome young man.
Clippers to the face. I like it.
Big inning potential here. Syndergaard's already thrown 13 pitches. 1 out. You know what the Mets are looking for. Murphy wants to elevate. And could he stop? No, says John Tumpane.
You decide. Maybe we'll decide together. It really doesn't matter what we think, though.
That's real close. It's one of those calls that can go either way. And it went the Mets. .2 now. Daniel looking to protect. 3 for 12 against Syndergaard last year. And he just kind of pitched him down and in, down and in, down and in for the second out. Rendon is next. Syndergaard, career record 24-17. This is his 59th start, his 9th against the Nats. 2-3 with a 2.77 earned run average. Rendon, good numbers against Syndergaard, 6 for 19. Ball gets away, then it hits the limestone and pops straight up in the air. To third Harper, to second Zimmerman.
Good thing that was a curveball, or it might have broke the stadium if it was 100. Might have crossed Rivera up. Check it out again. Slider from Syndergaard just spikes it. Look at the rotation on that. You see that dot you just saw? That's what you look for as a hitter. That circle in the baseball, that dot, because it's spinning so hard. So check out this slider from Syndergaard. Just look at the ball, and that's what you look for as a hitter. How do I pick up fastball, slider combination? I look for the dot. Look at that. See the circle in the middle of the ball? That's the dot you look for as a hitter to recognize what pitch it is. You don't see that on a fastball.
Yeah, that was called a wild pitch. 2-0. Rendon, base hit. Harper, Zimmerman behind him. Conforto's throw, cut off. And Anthony Rendon, one of his biggest hits of the year. Or, pardon me, Adam Rendon. And the Nationals lead 3-1.
Yeah, baby. That was clutch, folks. That's a big knock. This guy's hard to score runs off of. In my opinion, one of the best pitchers in the National League. He has power and command, and right now the Nats are on Noah Syndergaard for 3 in the first. And he got a fastball right down the middle. So you see there's no dot on that one. So he saw a fastball, and you see the Clint Eastwood squint from Anthony Rendon. And look at Ryan Zimmerman cut that corner and sort of hit the bag at third.
Terry Collins didn't expect this, and now stepping in for the Nats, Michael Adam Taylor. Rendon second on the throw. Looked like had there been a good cutoff, they might have had him at second. But the ball was a redirect off the glove of Matt Reynolds.
Who's sitting right now?
Michael Adam Taylor.
Oh, that boy.
That's what the A's for.
Did you say that? I missed it.
Yeah, twice.
My bad. Still trying to wake up.
Up the middle. Rendon coming around third. The throw by Granderson hits the mound. It gets away. And Michael Adam Taylor with an RBI is into second base. The Nats have 4 in the first.
I'm telling you, he could be a story, folks. It could be the story of the year if this guy does what everybody hopes he can. Look at that, squaring it up, took the rotation right off the baseball, knuckleball back up the middle. Good send by Bob Henley. And a great slide by Anthony Rendon. And the Nats go up 4-1. Whoops, 4-1. Who's sitting right now, Cart?
Adam Wieters.
Thank you.
No, he's not. It's going to be Adam Ross. They just sent Wieters to first.
All right. Well, you got him an intentional walk.
Syndergaard's second walk of the inning. And you and I see this all the time. This ball club loves to hit against guys like this rather than somebody flipping sinker, slider, changeup up there.
Yeah, they like the heaters.
By the way, they gave an error to Granderson on that throw as it hit the mound and then got away from Rene Rivera, allowing Taylor to go to second.
I've been going Peter Brady a lot lately. I gotta calm down.
So Adam Ross on the year, 0 for 7, 173 career hitter. He goes up hacking. Nats will send at least 9 men to the plate in the first. Syndergaard coming in with a 1.73 ERA, 4th best in the National League. Opponent's batting average, .220.
Someone just tweeted me that on the closed caption they're putting Adam for everybody's name right now.
Uh-oh. Syndergaard looked at Taylor, who took off for third. Nobody around him to get in behind him to the bag. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was rolling.
With Michael's speed, not that big of a deal for him to go to third base with 2 outs. Ross with a base hit to left. Yeah, here's how fast Taylor is. And the Nationals lead 5-1. And everybody in the lineup is named Adam until this inning is over.
How about that tribute to Adam Eaton? You drop Adams on everybody in the lineup. 9 hitters in the first inning face Noah Syndergaard. It's 5-1 Nats and counting. I just got goosebumps.
And Dan Worthen just got on his way to the mound.
be the best mess up of a name ever, partner.
Thank you. I'm one of the best at that.
No, I mean, look what happened. It turned into a tribute. They're scoring. They're raking one of the best pitchers in the National League, and everybody in the ballpark having a good time here in the first. Wilmer is too.
Show us the money, Wilmer.
I love Wilmer Defoe. He's always into it, man. Whether he's playing, not playing, on the bench. All right, who's hitting?
Adam Turner. Wilmer, Adam Defoe. Trey struck out on 3 pitches first time up. He didn't know about 12 minutes later he'd be hitting again. And he's up there swinging. 6 Nationals hits and 2 walks. First time around the lineup.
They're loving it.
Oh, and 2.
Yeah, how many times have the Nats batted around this season already? It seems like a billion.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
I don't think it's.
I'd say at least 3 times.
I'm gonna say higher.
Okay.
If you set the over/under at 3 on how many times the Nats have batted around this year, I'm gonna go higher.
Well,
you're probably dead on.
They did it in the last game in Colorado. Hard to believe they didn't do it in the 15-12 game. Trey Turner with a scorcher to the left side. I'm sorry, Adam. And Syndergaard not fooling anybody. Adam Eaton, this first inning was for you, our friend. The RBIs kept on coming. Zimmerman, Rendon a couple, Taylor, and Ross. What a first inning for the Washington Nationals.
The first inning and doing it for their buddy Adam Eaton, who, as we've talked about, now out for an extended period of time, torn ACL, torn meniscus, and a high ankle sprain. And it was an emotional scene in the clubhouse earlier today. Eaton, addressing reporters for the first time since the injury, said that the injury was the worst pain that he's ever felt in his life. But he says that his job now is to be the best cheerleader that he can for his ball club and to help the guys in any way that he can. He said the support that he's felt the last couple days has been unbelievable from family, friends, teammates, staff, fans. And asked if he's ruling out a return late in this season, Eaton responded quickly, no, heck no. He says, I'm going to work my butt off to try and get back this year if I can. And if that's the case, that means we're playing in October, guys. He's targeting a potential October return, but more likely looking to be healthy next year.
Well, if anybody can pull that off, it's Adam Eaton. Thanks, Dan. With our Coons.com sideline report, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Well, the same thing happened to the Cubs last year. Kyle Schwarber blew out early in the season in Arizona. He came back and was a World Series hero. And the Cubs got to the World Series, so I'm sticking with that story, and we will see Adam Eaton late in the season. Don't count that guy out of anything.
Well said, both of you guys. Well said.
DJ Rivera 4 for 8, a walk in the series. Joe Ross 17 pitches, 11 strikes in that 2-hit 1-run first. He's got this hitter 0-2. Goes to work with the slider and misses way outside.
Oh yeah, what about the run support for Joe Ross? 14, 15, and 5 in the first in your third start.
34 runs in just over 2 games.
I want to be in the lineup when he's pitching.
Joe needs to pitch the first 3 innings every day, and then they can sit him down. Well, some pitchers. That's a great breaking ball for his second strikeout to a leadoff man. Nissan on the pitch cast.
Slider, 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 slider. Last 4 pitches. First pitch fastball, then a pitch that he threw 31% of the time his last start, the slider.
There's Rene Rivera, the catcher. None of the last 3 hitters in front of the pitcher have ever faced Joe Ross before. Joe career 13 and 10, start number 35 today. And that ball is hammered to left. Rivera, first home run of the year. And what is it about the bottom of the Mets order in this series? 5-2 game. Fourth homer given up by Joe Ross.
Ooh, yeah, that was just a slider that didn't do anything. In essence, turned into an 86-mile-an-hour fastball that Rivera didn't miss.
Mets have hit 36 home runs. Same number as the Nationals. And it's Matt Reynolds, a rookie, who actually played in 47 games last year. 26-year-old right-handed hitter, playing third base today. Went to Arkansas, played on the College World Series team there. Before that, Bishop Kelly High School in Tulsa, where Dallas Keuchel is from, and former big league catcher Charlie O'Brien are from. This kid's got a good bat. He was hitting 300 at Vegas when they called him up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Syndergaard on deck. And he can hack. He has over a 200 career batting average. Line drive to right. Bryce Harper stalking it. 2 outs.
Get the most flexible ticket plan in sports with the new Washington Nationals Pick'em plan. Pick'em plans include 40 tickets to use when, where, and how you want. Choose your favorite matchups, ticket quantities, and seating areas starting at just $22. Some restrictions apply. Visit nationals.com/pick'em for all the details.
Ross to Syndergaard. Noah 0 for 2 career against Joe. Tried to run that fastball back to the inside edge, just missed. Nationals Park playing like it's the end of June right now with this April weather. Nats 5 in the first against Syndergaard, ties a career high of what he's ever given up in that inning. 2-0.
And I tell you, you don't want to face Michael Conforto if you've lost the pitcher here. There's a lot of incentive for Joe to get out of this inning. Walked him on 4. First walk for Joe Ross. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. Travis d'Arnaud batting Friday night in the number 8 spot, and Conforto yesterday the home run heroes for the Mets in this series. So the catcher drove in 5 yesterday. The left fielder drove in 3, and those homers have been the difference in this series. Conforto's hit 6 overall, 12 RBIs. Joe Ross struck him out first time. It's the first time Michael had ever faced Joe. Target in from Wieters. That one to the outer half for a strike. Michael Conforto's got a good thing going. He's only 24. 5 hits, 2 homers in the World Series when he was 22 years old. He didn't hit for high average last year, but we know how lively and loud that bat can be. They sent him down to Vegas for a while last year, but they couldn't leave him there. He hit .422 at AAA.
Well, he showed his manager a lot yesterday by taking Enny Romero deep, left on left, the other way. Yeah. There's always been a question, can he hit lefties? And he said, hey, I want to play every day, and I can hit lefties.
And you know what it's like, Epi. Sometimes nobody finds out until they give you the at-bats in those situations. Right. Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer lost back-to-back games once as Nationals before this weekend. That was back in 15 at San Francisco. Joe Ross trying to carry the mail today, and that's upstairs 2-2.
Slider's not sliding all of a sudden for Joe. Kind of getting on the side of it. It's just kind of spinning up there. And if you're a 2-pitch guy basically and one of them ain't working, I know what's coming.
2-2.
See if he can make the adjustment.
A lot of pitches for Joe now because of that walk. 21 of this inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a fly ball out behind second. Trey Turner is under it. The Mets will get one on the home run by Rivera. Here comes Adam Worth, who got the madness started in the first inning.
Go today. It was a Saturday at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and Jason Worth, after a Murphy single, drove one out of the park. The Nats got 4 in the first, went on to a 6-1 win over the Cardinals. Sean Kelly got Jeremy Hazelbaker for the last out. This is ironic. When the Nats won that game, the record was 16-7, same as they came into yesterday's game with. And Jason Worth, in the middle of it that day, had hits his first 2 times up and a sacrifice fly later. So the last day of April has been good to the Nats left fielder, and has already today. Worth, Harper, Zimmerman, bottom of the second. Noah Syndergaard threw 27 pitches, 17 strikes. When you think about it, facing 10 hitters, not that many pitches, really.
Well, when you throw strikes, you don't walk guys, and you throw 100, you got to be aggressive. First hittable strike, you're all over it against Noah Syndergaard. There's no need to wait around.
I will say that he, in a normal scenario, would have had 31 pitches. They don't charge 4 pitches for an intentional walk anymore. That'll help some pitch counts.
Good point.
And some control numbers. Worth takes a strike. It's 1-1.
You know, when you're hitting second, it's a whole different feel for you as a ball player, and especially with Jason Worth, a guy that builds his game around playing the right way, swagger, confidence. And now when you're sandwiched between Trey Turner and Bryce Harper, it gives you a different feel. You know, when you're at the bottom of the order, I mean, you're still a big league player, but when you have 8 and 9 hitting behind you, it kind of changes how you feel about yourself. You remember when Jason Worth hit third, he would say publicly in the paper, I take great pride in being a 3-hitter in the major leagues. Well, yeah. Now he's back up top, and I guarantee you see a different guy. He hasn't been bad hitting 7th, but when you're up there at the top, Bryce Harper's hitting behind you, you have more confidence.
Yeah, we talked about the catbird seat earlier this week that Trey Turner was hitting in before Adam Eaton got hurt. So now that he has to lead off, number 2 spot, 2-2 to Worth, and he got an emergency hack there to stay alive. That looked like the changeup at 90.
That check swing before got him. He tells me that wrist every once in a while will shock him. He's trying to shake it out when he tries to stop his bat.
Two pitch. Inside. Ooh. And those 5 runs the Nats got, the most in any inning ever allowed by Syndergaard. And our brilliant stats guy Carter Myers tells us it's the 7th time the Nats have scored 5 or more runs in an inning this year. 7. 3-2 pitch. And the leap of Matt Reynolds keeps that ball out of the left field corner.
It's good at bat. 5-6 pitches, line out. They're seeing Syndergaard well here early. Bullet to Jose Reyes, or not Jose Reyes, sorry. Matt Reynolds, my bad. Check that. Jose's playing short today.
Guys might be dropping the sunglasses now as the sun comes back out. Cloudy there for a moment. Harper and Zimmerman the next 2. And Bryce drew his 21st walk of the season. Paul Goldschmidt with 22, the most in the league.
When you talk to guys that face Syndergaard, they tell you about how tall he is and how his fastball comes downhill at an angle and how hard it is to square up because he gets on top and it's not on a horizontal plane at all.
They list him at 6'6", 240. Mercedes pitch cast.
So a lot of guys that are shorter, their fastball comes in like this, but Noah Syndergaard, he's so tall, it has a down angle on it. So it's hard to square up something coming in at 100 at that angle versus a little more flat. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Syndergaard walked off the mound holding his arm. And here comes Terry Collins. Here comes their trainer. As soon as he let go of that pitch, he turned toward first base and walked to the back of the mound.
Oh, no.
And he's gone. He's done for the day. Wow.
I'm telling you, man, the hardest thing is protecting players against themselves. They all just such warriors. They want to go out there and compete even when they're hurt. And Cespedes' hamstring was barking. He ripped that all up. Syndergaard's been hurt. Now he goes out there. Who knows what happened to him? Let's look at it again. And I hope Noah Syndergaard's all right. So his bicep is what's been hurting him, but he's reaching underneath his armpit. I'm sick of seeing people get hurt. I'm over it.
Like Sean Gilmartin, who just got recalled by the Mets before this series will take over.
Here's the pitch before he got hurt. Little wince there. Rene Rivera saw it. That's the pitch before he came out. So he felt something there, obviously, and
we'll take a break. Sean Gilmartin not even throwing off the rubber yet. Playing catch. He'll have all the time he needs, and we'll bring it back to Nats Park in a moment. Warm-up tosses. And here is Gilmartin, 26 years of age. He'll have a birthday in about a week. Originally drafted by San Diego. He's in his 4th year with the Mets, 2nd appearance.
yeah, fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball 88. I want to take you back to yesterday with Jason Worth and clarify that whole thing at second base. We can all learn together here. I said initially that Angel Hernandez got it right, and guess what? He got it absolutely perfect yesterday. There's two kinds of obstruction. There's obstruction A and obstruction B. Obstruction A is when the play is being made on you, say like a rundown, and you teach the kids once the guy gets rid of the ball, run into the guy, you get the next base. But when the play's not being made on you, like that one, that's obstruction B. And Jason Worth was protected back to second base. So say, as Drupal Cabrera grabs that ball after they're on top of each other, tags Jason Worth. He's not out. He's awarded second base there. He's protected back to second base. It's up to Angel Hernandez to see how many feet Jason Worth was obstructed to third, but the play is live. So what Jason Worth and maybe Dusty Baker thought, it was obstruction A, that when there's some kind of tangle with the fielder that you automatically get the next base. You don't. this is a live ball. And Jason thought because he ran into Cabrera, which is obstruction A, which is the more common one, that he was awarded the next base. Not true. Angel Hernandez got that 100% right yesterday, and I just wanted to correct that on the air. I said he got it right during the game, but we were still wondering because it's such an odd rule. So now maybe you know a rule. We know the rule 100%, and when we see it again 40 years from now, we'll nail it. But I think Angel Hernandez takes a lot of flack from a lot of people for, being in the middle of all the action. He nailed that yesterday. I want to give him some credit.
Dan has more.
Bob, talking to Jason about that play after the game yesterday, he was unaware that there were two types of obstruction. He thought that there was strictly the obstruction call, that if obstruction is called by an umpire, that you are essentially, you're taught to continue the play and that you are protected to get that next base. But as you said, there are two types of obstruction, something that Jason and Dusty Baker were unaware of.
And off we go. And I think some people still wonder what the gesture was when Angel pointed. We don't know what he said at that point, but
no, he was calling obstruction. Okay. He's supposed to point. He did everything right. He just was at obstruction B. He was taking note that there was contact.
2-2 on Harper. Gilmartin ready. And Bryce will hit one that'll force Jose Reyes on a slow roller to his right. Bryce hustling all the way, but he's out by a step. So that at bat credited to Sean Gilmartin. And the line is done on Noah Syndergaard, who gives up 5 runs, all earned on 5 hits in an inning and a third, and we hope he's okay.
I want to see some Zim bombs. Got 11 of them. That's pretty good the month. Number on his back. That's just this series, folks. I mean, everything. In, out, up, down, soft, hard, barrel to baseball, and Ryan Zimmerman is the best player in the big leagues right now.
Unbelievable. 0 for 2 against Gilmartin. Who has started 2 games in his big league career, by the way. Ryan, unbelievable. Hit one right by the pitching rubber, right by the second base bag with a screamer for his 28th RBI, first time up. The last time 3 teammates led Major League Baseball in RBIs in 1 month was the 1960 Braves with Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, and their catcher Del Crandall. It's only been done 3 times in history. Zimmerman, Harper, and Murphy have a chance, a real chance. 2-1. Inside the Numbers brought to you by PNC Bank. Longest homers this season, and Ryan had it for a couple of hours, and then Jake Lamb, who will be here Tuesday, hit one a mile.
A mile. 481 in Arizona.
Zimmerman on an off-speed pitch to Hopper, Jose Reyes. 1-2-3, go the Nats in the third, but the Mets have lost Noah Syndergaard for today, and remains to be seen for how long. 5-2 Washington. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City. Book now at ococean.com. And by Night Point Systems. They offer the top technology you need when you need it.
Get your scorebooks. Scorebooks here.
They're on sale.
Get your red hot scorebooks. Bob Carpenter scorebooks. Get them while they're hot.
By the way, out at the team store today, and you can pick these up. A couple of great ladies were signing books. Ann Lambert Good, her Washington Nationals A to Z. And Andrea Alexander, her sports biography on Bryce Harper for little kids. Great books if you want to pick them up at the team store, and they were signing today. I'm sure they'll be back later in the season. Top of the third, Jose Reyes, a triple, a run scored. He's come alive. Jose 5 for 9 in the series. 2-1. Joe Ross, long second inning, 39 pitches, 23 strikes. Pretty good hack by Reyes, who homered here yesterday. Hit a no-doubter to right field in the top of the ninth that added a run to the Mets' lead. Drills one to left. Jason Worth didn't have to move much to his right for the first out.
All right, pretty good ball club coming into town. The second, third, and fourth. 1:05 start time on the fourth. Take note of that, a Thursday afternoon game. Paul Goldschmidt, Zach Greinke, and the rest of the Diamondbacks. Visit Nats Park. Visit nationals.com/tickets for more.
Tanner goes Tuesday night. The Diamondbacks, checked their notes this morning, had not announced yet their rotation for the Washington series. Gio Wednesday. And then back to Max Scherzer for a day game on Thursday before the Nats go to Philly. Yeah, Philly again. And then 2 at Camden Yards. Here's Jay Bruce, RBI single, first time up. Diamondbacks have lost 2 in a row at home to the Rockies. And they are a game and a half behind Colorado in the West. Look out, the Dodgers have won 3 in a row out there. Padres Giants way under 500 in the West. High fly ball to deep left center by Bruce. The Mets have homered again. 7 New York homers in this series. It's a 5-3 game. And that's Jay Bruce, 248 career home runs, the most by any lefty in baseball since his rookie year in 08.
I'm going to check out the pitch from Joe Ross. Just a fastball that missed the location. You see Wieters setting up away. It was down and in. And Jay Bruce with an inside-out swing. I'll tell you what, the ball's flying this year. I saw Alexi Amarista yesterday for the Rockies, all 5'5", hit a fly ball out to left opposite field. He was hitting left-handed, and he went out the other way. And I'm like, Alexi Amarista does not have opposite field pop to hit a home run. So whatever with all the home runs this year, either it's warm and the ball's flying everywhere or the ball's juiced this year. But there's home runs everywhere. People that don't hit them going opposite field home runs.
48 homers were hit in 15 big league games on Friday. There's Neil Walker.
I was watching the highlights on Quick Pitch this morning. I saw Amarista go deep the other way, and I almost choked on my coffee. I said, everybody's hitting homers.
Yeah, that was in Arizona, not Coors Field. Yeah. Ball does carry well there, but not like Colorado. Anthony Rendon takes care of Neil Walker for the second out, and Granderson the hitter. Did a TV show from the 50s actually predict a Trump presidency and his construction of a wall? We will verify it. At least WUSA 9 News will. Monday night at 11, only on WUSA 9 News. Here's Granderson, hit a comebacker to Joe, first time, swing and a miss.
Good slider.
And a foul tip keeps Granderson alive. Shift on Murphy, 20 feet out into right field. He'd like to catch a line drive and head right for the dugout to lead off. Check swing. Did he go? No, according to John Tumpane.
Where was the pitch? Maybe I missed it. I thought that was a strike. Huh? Maybe a little high.
Nissan on the pitch cast. 1-2. That's a foul tip that goes into Wieder's mitt. Homer by Bruce. Daniel Murphy has hit 5 this year. Rendon and Taylor to follow. Bottom 3, it's getting closer.
Inning, my partner errantly called Jason Worth Adam Worth because he has Adam Eaton on his mind, just like we all do. So we decided to call everybody Adam in the first. Adam Rendon with the single. Adam Worth did a nice job. And how about Adam Taylor? Michael Adam Taylor, as we said. So an organic tribute, if you will, to the fallen Adam Eaton, who's going to miss the season with the torn ACL, turns into a 5-run first for the Nats. And partner, that's one of the coolest things I've ever done on TV. That was awesome.
Well, it's a team effort.
I mean, guys have to step it up. I mean, Anthony Rendon starts swinging it. Jason Worth's hitting second. You know, it's a next man up attitude you have to have. It sounds cold, it sounds harsh, but it's just the way it is in sports. There's no team in the National League feeling sorry for the Nats right now. Nobody.
Murphy swinging, strikeout first time. Breaking ball drops in there. Murphy 2 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs against a former teammate in Sean Gilmore. 5 pitches, 3 strikes to get grounders from Harper and Zimmerman last inning. and the fastball in there. 2-2. Murphy eyeing that curveball all the way down and away. Anthony Rendon is next. Big 2-out double. Really got that first inning off and running after the Zimmerman base hit with 1 out. Murphy's going to be called out on strikes. Only the 12th time this year he has struck out, and it's twice in this game against 2 different pitchers.
At bottom of the zone. He thought it was low. Ted Barrett didn't. Looked like a pretty good pitch from Sean Gilmartin.
That was a single by Anthony Rendon back in the first. Second on the throw, drove in a couple. One for 2 against Gilmartin career. Target away, even though it's 2-0. And that ball out over the plate. Anthony Rendon was pumping. And there it goes to left field. See you later. Way upstairs. Rendon's first of the year. 6-3 Washington. And he's already having a day.
He's been all stealthy, just laying the weeds. You know he's going to have a good year. And when the home run hitters get him this year, Carb, they're monster shots. And that was a bomb.
Yep. That's one of the longest homers he's ever hit in this ballpark.
Absolutely. That's 450 maybe.
54th career home run. Here's Taylor. And Michael A. Taylor had a great swing himself first time.
It's like a cutter from Gilmartin, and he just drops the barrel on it. A little more direct to the baseball. Short, compact swing that we've all grown to love here. That was 421 feet, so not quite 450, but it was still traveling.
Yeah, we heard yesterday on the Zimmerman blast, it's the first time ever the crew of Nets Extra was concerned about their gear as Zimmerman's fly ball hit right in front of our set out there. Michael A. Taylor 4 for 6 in this series. RBI hit, scored a run. First time up. And he's going to drop one, at least attempt to, in right center, and he will. He'll round the bag, and Michael A. Taylor is taking hold of something here. Give up a bat for a hit like that.
Yeah, bat died a hero. Michael A. 2 for 2. Let me give you some StatCasts brought to you by Amazon Web Services on Anthony Rendon's Tater. Tony 2 bags going Tony 4 bags. 107, 421 feet. Where did it land? 3/4 of the way up the bleachers in left field. That was a big fly.
Now the Nats come alive in the third. Here's Wieters. Walked intentionally first time up right before
Joe Ross really crossed up the Mets and had that RBI single for the 5th run of that first inning.
That swing was outstanding.
And that ball was outstanding out of here. Wieters against Gil Martin for the first time. Matt hasn't had many right-handed at bats, but he's 2 for 5 with an RBI. Two 2-0 danger count to Wieters. He takes the breaking ball and it's 3-0.
I'm digging that curly W, by the way.
Love it with the stripes and the stars.
It should be that. I mean, the red one's sharp, but that's America.
That's next level right there.
It is. That's awesome.
Two on, one out. Wieters walks for the 2nd time today and the 11th time this season. There's Joe Ross again. Dan Worthen to the mound as the Nats pitcher walks up to an RBI situation. No activity in the Mets bullpen.
Don't necessarily have to bunt here with Joe Ross up by 3. You could show bunt, Butcher Boy, pull it back, slash. You could lay the bunt down and hope Trey Turner delivers a 2-out knock, or you could just let him swing away. We'll see what Dusty Baker decides to do, but that was a long chat with Bob Henley. Lots of options here when you have an athlete that can handle the bat like Joe Ross.
Joe Ross got his first base hit of the year, his 2nd career RBI 2 innings ago. Keep forgetting we've moved over an extra column because the Nats batted around in the 1st. So here we are in the 3rd and a chance to really get a stranglehold on this game. He's showing bunt, pulls it back, and the slider for a strike. Joe had 5 at bats in his game at Atlanta, 1 at Colorado, and now his 2nd today. He's not one of those guys they play real shallow on the offside in the outfield either. Pulls it back. 1-1.
Long look into the dugout. Bob Henley looking at Dusty Baker, putting on a sign right now.
Great speed in the lead runner out there. And of course, Wieters keeping an eye on Taylor as they both lead off. And Joe pulls it back again, 2-1.
Okay, so Bob Henley looks to Dusty Baker. He's staring in the dugout right now. Dusty Baker flashes signs to Bob Henley. Do you keep the bunt on? Do you take it off? Do you pull it back and hit? Do you put more sunscreen on? What do you do?
Yes, the latter part, yes. Gil Martin taking a long time here. 2-1 pitch. Joe squares around, and that is a great bunt. Rivera to Walker, 3-4. The sacrifice is perfect.
Get some knucks and some high fives going back to the dugout. Nicely done, Joe Ross. Everybody in the world knew your button. Got the job done. For every Nationals walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. Nats have drawn 98 walks for $4,900. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Trey Turner 0 for 1 against Gil Martin. 0 for 2 today, made the first and the last outs of that first inning before Noah Syndergaard had to leave. Taylor third, Wieters second. Big gap in left center. And the off speed on the change right in there.
Trey Turner trying to join the hit party. You know, it stinks when you're a leadoff hitter and everybody else is raking, because you can get 2 at-bats in 1 inning, and Trey Turner did in the first.
Yeah. Turner and Murphy, the only Nats not on base so far. Counts even, 1-1. (6-3) Nationals. They've out hit the Mets 7-4. Right off the top of the barrel. Count goes 2-2. Trey Turner flexing those knees, waiting for a 2-2 pitch. And then that stands him up straight.
And when you're a leg kick guy like Trey Turner, you have to kind of vary the heights of your kick when a guy's in the stretch, and Gil Martin right now is kind of rushing Trey. So he can't pick up that leg as high as he was in Colorado, or it won't get down in time. You could do it sooner, but it's hard to time guys out of the stretch when you're a leg kick guy. Watch how close he's keeping it to the ground now. See?
3-2 pitch, and a curveball strikes him out. Maybe a slider. Anthony Rendon with 1 out, one of the longest home runs of his career. He's 2 for 2 today. And Anthony goes 421 feet to left field. 6-3 Washington. We serve today for a better tomorrow, and every day at the ballpark, it's our DynCorp International Troop Recognition. The brave men and women, players appreciate it, who fight for our country, sacrifice given by them and their families so the Stars and Stripes can fly highly and proud here every day at Nationals Park. Not the only thing flying high in this park either.
A lot of fly balls going on in this park. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers donate $200 to the Children's National Health System, $250 to the Children's National Health System for each of the first 200 home runs the Nats hit this season. Lexus, experience a Amazing.
Top of the fourth. Joe Ross needs to get a 0 on the board today. The Mets have runs, at least one, in 3 consecutive innings. T.J. Rivera struck out first time, leading off the second. Six, 7, 8, the Riveras, and then Reynolds for the Mets. And a ball to right. Long run in for Bryce Harper. It's going foul. Hits about 3 or 4 feet on that track. And it's 1-2.
Mini Bryce. Did he get 2 baseballs? No. Is that what his mom's saying?
Maybe it's a 2 cotton candy
No,
day.
they got 2. There's 1. No way.
Don't throw it.
Throw it.
Don't throw it.
Throw it on the field.
They've been known to do that.
No, don't. Don't ever do that. That's bad. I should not have said that.
It says something about sorry, Thor, and then Bryce Harper. And that is right in on the hands of Rivera, who fights it off. Did he go? Home plate umpire says he did. No need for an appeal. Ted Barrett punched out Rivera. Joe Ross 2 consecutive Ks and 4 on the day. More on the Mets. Here's Dan.
Bob with Rene Rivera stepping in after his home run his first time up. Thought I'd share this note dating back to the beginning of the 2016 season. If you add up all the runs that the Mets have scored since then, they have gotten more than half of them via the home run. 51% of their runs since the beginning of last season coming via the home run.
That is crazy.
Well, when Mr. Met starts hitting them, get back to me.
He's going down.
They swing. I mean, that's the way Terry Collins' team is designed. I mean, they don't run particularly well as a team. They take a lot of pitches. They make pitchers work. They go deep in the counts, and then they make you pay once they wear you down.
The Nats and the Mets have each hit 37 this year. That's more than Colorado. Milwaukee 43.
But that's like making your living as a gambler. You know, you're going to have hot streaks. You're going to have cold streaks. When you're a home run hitting team, you're either really, really good or you're not.
This one out to short center, Michael A. Taylor. So that's Rivera, who homered last time, and now Matt Reynolds coming in.
The Trey Turner bobblehead giveaway, that's presented by us, Masson, the Mid-Atlantic Sports Network. First 25,000 fans, May 12th. Phillies in town, 7:05 start. Visit nationals.com/promotions. The Phillies are 11-11, second place, 4 games out.
Yeah. They've lost the first 2 at Dodger Stadium this weekend, so the Nats haven't lost any ground in the East despite 2 losses. And Reynolds hit the ball hard, line drive right at Bryce Harper, first time up. Two-one pitch. Up the middle. Joe couldn't get it. Neither can Daniel Murphy. And Matt Reynolds. First big league hit of the season. We arrive at the 3 o'clock hour here. Long ball game so far, thanks to that Nats bottom of the first inning when they scored 5, 10 batters to the plate. And right now 6-3 Washington with Adam Carpenter, Adam Santangelo, and Adam Kolko bringing The Mid-Adams Sports Network action to you.
Nice.
That's why we call him Masson. There's Tom Gilmartin. He's going to hack one to the left field corner. And this is trouble. Reynolds around third. And he's got good speed. He scores easily. And it's a 6-4 game. Sean Gilmartin, first major league RBI on his 6th base hit.
A pretty good swing on the fastball right down the middle, goes the other way. Jason Worth was playing over there, but the ball had some slice to it and just couldn't get to it. Hit hard too. Trey Turner with a little trouble on the exchange, might have been even closer. But the Mets going nowhere in this one. They're fighting.
Each inning with a run. Conforto, swinging strikeout, pop up beyond short, strike one.
This is about when Joe Ross hit the wall in Colorado, if you remember. 4 2/3 his last start. And he went from, I don't know, 92, 93 to 88, 89 in that start.
And 90 pitches in getting 14 outs. He had thrown 100 in 7 innings at Atlanta. He's now given up 12 earned runs in his 3 starts. 0-2 pitch. And that's into right center field, and here comes another runner. Gilmartin being sent. Bryce Harper no throw. 6-5. 3 hits in a row.
Yeah, it seems like he's hitting the wall again here in the 4th, and you look at the stuff and it's not the location he's looking for right here, I guess is the best way to put it. He's laying some pitches, he's grooving some pitches to Mets hitters, and they're taking advantage.
Nat starters have now given up 13 runs in this series. Steven Strasburg, the best outing, 3 runs, 6 hits, 7 innings yesterday. And here's Jose Reyes. He's hit the ball hard twice, a triple down the right field line and a line drive at Jason Worth. He was the leadoff batter last inning, and now he bats in the 4th with 2 outs. Conforto 1 for 1 stealing bases. The Mets are 9 out of 10. They swiped 4 bags here Friday night and another one yesterday. That gets Matt Albers up. Close, very close.
Might take a look at that one. They're probably looking in the clubhouse. Did they get him? No, that's not worth it. I got you all excited for nothing. Close though. If he tags him a little quicker, they might have had him.
Wow. Kid's got some kind of live bat. The way he's swinging lately. This mid-30s kid named Jose Reyes. He's starting to look like the guy who used to be double the Nats earlier in his career. One of those great teams when David Wright was doing his thing. Carlos Delgado, all the other offensive guys the Mets had. Reyes will be 34 in June. Went fishing upstairs, foul tip.
Yeah, Joe just getting the ball up all of a sudden, and that tells me he's tired. You know, maybe he has to build up to that 100 pitch count, even though he threw 100 his first start. Still trying to get his sea legs under him because that's back-to-back starts where he's been elevated in the 4th inning.
Fatal at Coors Field. And 5 runs given up here. Target in on 0-2. And Ross got it in there to strike him out. Joe Ross, 5 Ks on the day, but a long 4 innings for him. Just under 80 pitches. The 4th inning of Nationals baseball brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. Or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. They're in their traditional outfits, which has to be a little warm. Teddy's going to win his first of the year, right? Right? Not looking good. George is. Wow, going to bring you the whole race here. And George coming down the stretch. He'll have his 3rd of the year. Abe has won 6. He's in 2nd. Tom has won 2. And Teddy Roosevelt is on the schneid this year.
They just spoil me. Unless something's diving out of the stands, drilling one of them,
You just wait till Mother's Day.
I mean, it should be every day. Some sort of creature flies out of the stands and takes one of them out. Hard, too.
Jason Worth pops one up over the Nats dugout.
That might have been caught last year. See that new section down there? They just out a little bit. That was in the 1st row. You could have went to the rail and maybe caught that, but I think those are the MGM seats over there. You don't have access to catching that pop-up where Bryce Harper with the Expos hat is. There it is. Already donated a lot to that place. I'm helping them build a new one.
2-1. No toll on that bridge, but on the other side.
There's a big toll on the other side of the Woodrow Wilson.
Jason Worth's hit the ball hard twice. Lined one right at Matt Reynolds' 3rd base last time. And I almost called him Adam Worth again. Jason trying to put the Nats back on top by 2. Well, maybe we should conjure up some more Adams here. The Nats, on a normal day, 6 runs, plenty to win a game, but who knows today? 2-2.
Close.
Then Gil Martin trying to drop that backdoor curveball in there.
I mean, you dropped an Adam on him again, and he got a break. That's outside.
Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast. Off speed, and Jason able to foul it away.
Hey, go number 2.
Pop up over the dugout. Next 5, 3 of them here against the Diamondbacks. Tanner Roark Tuesday, Gio Wednesday, 1 o'clock game, Max Scherzer Thursday, and then on to Philadelphia. 3-game series next weekend. That was the only place the Nats lost a series before this weekend, and then 2 in Baltimore before the O's come here. So the battle of the Beltways will be upon us soon. Jason Worth halfway up the upper deck, foul.
That was in the 3rd deck, or 4th, or whatever it is down there. Those people had no idea they were getting a foul ball, and they got here today. They can't believe they got a foul ball. Watch Jason Worth get out in front of this fastball and pull it a mile foul. Watch where this goes. It goes into the 4th deck.
Then up the middle for a measly single, and Jason Worth is 2 for 3 today. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times. Harper and Zimmerman coming up.
You mess around and call him Adam again. You called him Adam the first time he got a hit, 3rd time he gets a hit.
All right, I'm in for the 4th inning.
He'll tell you, call me Adam. He don't care. He just wants base hits. So leadoff single for Jason Worth here in the 5th. Nats trying to answer that 2 spot the Mets just put up.
Look at that, 18 pitches between Syndergaard and Gilmartin, seen as the number 2 hitter.
That's what he does. That's what he's always done. That's why he's nice at the top of the order. Adam Eaton, the one thing I liked about him most was he saw a lot of pitches up there. He wore down whoever for Bryce and Ryan and Daniel. Or Adam.
Adam Harper 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. First man Gilmartin faced back in the 2nd inning when Syndergaard left. Got him on a grounder to short. So Bryce 1 for 4 career, 2 walks against the Mets lefty. Up in the zone. Ball ripped into right. Worth heading for 3rd. Harper, 2nd time on today. And his 35th hit of the year. 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. Adam Zimmerman can't wait to step in.
It's working again.
Scary.
Bryce Harper with a bullet that he wishes he could have elevated because it might have knocked down the 2nd deck, but he'll take 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. Nats in business. Here come the Adams again. It's the Adams family.
They might be creepy and kooky, but they sure can hit.
All right. Number 2. I'm telling you, I'm not betting against him. He'll be back.
Zimmerman 1 for 2 with a base hit up the middle. First order of business, getting that runner home from 3rd. It would be his 29th RBI. Inside edge, a good pitch by Sean Gilmartin, who got Adam on a grounder to short.
Clean it up over there.
Yeah, I know.
Tighten it up.
It's hard to make mistakes on purpose.
Slide over here and try do what I do. Oh. He's so locked in. I mean, even his foul balls, you're flinching because you're thinking, where is this one going and how far is it going? And I've been talking about this a lot. so forgive me if you've heard it before, but his body language is just oozing confidence. Everything he does, every mannerism, you see these guys every day for 7 years, so you can tell. I mean, a baseball field's one place you can't fool me with your body language. I can tell if you're confident. I can tell if you're scared. I can tell if you're nervous. This guy, I've never seen him with the body language he has going on right now. It's fun to watch.
0-2 pitch. Look at that laser.
It's like he's playing slow pitch softball. I mean, you need to go unlimited arc on this guy right now because he's squared up everything, whether it's 80 or 95. It's an off-speed pitch, catches it out front, and just the sound off his bat is deafening.
35 hits. 28 batted in. Last player to lead the majors in batting average, homers, and RBIs end of April, Matt Kemp, 2012. Wait till you hear the other names on that list. Way inside. Ron Say in 77, Tony Perez in 70, Lou Brock in 67, and Willie Mays in 64. And there are your RBI leaders. By the way, Albert Pujols has the American League lead in RBIs, 22. So the National League doing a lot of slugging here early. 1-2. Way outside.
I mean, if you're pitching against Ryan right now, just throw it and hope that he hits it at somebody. That's all you can really do when a really, really good player is this hot.
Ryan gets jammed. Is it deep enough? Jay Bruce fighting the sun, so he just has to worry about catching the ball. And Ryan Zimmerman does get his 29th RBI.
Nice at bat, got the job done. Let's check the sequence. Gilmartin and Zimmerman, here we go. Not the matchup you thought you were going to see today. If you missed it, Noah Syndergaard left this one with something going on his right lat. But I mean, look at the pitches he's squaring up. He's spitting on everything that's not a strike, and then he finally gets a pitch that's borderline. He goes inside out swinging. When you're going hot like Ryan Zimmerman, even the sac flies that could be close at home are lost in the sun for a second, and there's no throw. When you're hot, you're hot. Jay Bruce fighting off the sun and makes a nice play with two hands.
1 on, 1 out. Here's Adam Murphy. And a look back to Ted Barrett. Murphy 12 strikeouts and 101 official at bats, 2 of them today.
He had 38 strikeouts, I believe, in 2015. All year. It's the first thing I took note of when he signed with the Nats. Like, this guy doesn't strike out.
That's well hit to right. Harper stops at second. And we're raising up another inning to Adam Eaton here as Adam Rendon steps in. Yeah, Murphy 38 strikeouts, 31 walks that year. Last year struck out 57 times with the Nats, walked 35 times, and had 184 hits. So that's his 35th of the year. Rendon, quite a day. 3 RBIs, 2-run single, solo home run. Two for 3 career against Gilmartin. Still nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen, but the phone did ring out there. And that one staggered Rene Rivera.
So 421 feet. If you forgot about it, it was just last inning, so shake yourself and wake up. Here it is. Looked like a cutter down and in. 421 feet, more than halfway up the bleachers and left. A big fly for Anthony Rendon, his first of the year.
Maybe this is the breakout game we've been waiting for. 226 coming in, 5 RBIs. Now he has 8. He's going to spit on that fastball away. Counts even, 1-1. 3 more hits for the Nats in this inning. 10 in 3 1/3 against Mets pitching today. Off speed, and he hits it out to left center. See you later. It's the Anthony Rendon day we've been waiting for. Who? Adam Rendon. Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
It's got to be a curtain call, doesn't it? 2 home runs.
Ten to 5. Rendon's first career multi-homer game, and it brings in 3. There's a bouncer to Michael A. Taylor, and he's, Michael Adam Taylor, and he's 2 for 2 today. So we have invoked the name of our leadoff guy twice today, and the Nationals have scored 9 runs in those 2 innings. Taylor base hit in the first RBI and a run scored. Broke his bat, dropped one into right center. 3rd inning. Suddenly hitting .250. And in this series, 5 for 7. Crowd still buzzing about what it just saw. Way inside, 3-0.
You feel like the way Major League Baseball has gone this year, especially the games we've seen with the Nats, it's either a strikeout, a walk, or a home run. I mean, that's what the game is now.
I'm starting to think that the best pitching staff in the league will have an ERA of about 3.75 this year. Usually there's somebody way down below 3, but it ain't happening right now. Nowhere. 3-1. What a barrage. Taylor hits it well the other way, and that ball a little lower, easier for Jay Bruce to spot. 2 outs.
Another good at bat from Michael Taylor.
Who?
Michael Adam Taylor.
And we'll try it one more time with Adam Wieters. Wow, what a blast by Rendon.
Why not? Let's check it out. Adam Rendon got a hanger and knew what to do with it. Look at that, catch it out front. Beautiful swing. Bottom half of the baseball, get it in the air, watch her fly into the red seats in left center.
Yeah, that's 400 plus. Wieters lines one into left, and he's on for the 3rd time. And right now, and this doesn't mean he's going to pitch the 5th inning, because Dusty's left a starter in to hit before, but Joe Ross is in the batter's box. So we'll see if maybe coming out for the 5th and trying to get a win if Dusty cuts him some slack. Matt Albers has been hot for a while.
I think the 4 runs might get him back on the mound. We'll see what Dusty does here.
And you know, it might be one of those situations, FP, where Dusty will send him out there. Bruce, Walker, Granderson, first sign of trouble, then, you know, you do what you were going to do. But this will be interesting. It's a good problem to have, I suppose, when you put 10 on the board. Joe, a perfect day at the plate.
Who?
Adam Ross, an RBI single and a sacrifice.
I mean,
you know what? It's a mistake-riddled telecast, and we couldn't be happier about it.
Exactly. You gotta stay with it. It's working. It's like same seats, same name.
One. Breaking ball. He hammers it, but it's hooking. Wow.
That ball was roasted.
Are we at Nationals Park or Top Golf right now?
Yeah, they're teeing off.
Wow.
I mean, this might have had distance. A low tracer off the bat of Joe Ross that just caught out in front. Well, look at this thing fly. Look out, heads up. Incoming.
Bring your glove. That ball off the glove of Rivera, and Wieters down to second. There's a breaking ball a couple of innings ago that never hit the ground. Rivera missed it. That's a wild pitch. Each pitcher has thrown one for the Mets. Two outs. Wieters at second. Ross with a count of 2-2. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. But another great inning highlighted by Adam Rendon. Zimmerman had already driven a run home with a sac fly. He goes deep, way deep. What a day. 3 for 3, 6 RBIs.
Washington, Ryan Zimmerman with his sacrifice fly last half inning now has 29 RBI in April. That is the most RBIs of any Nationals player in any month in Nationals history. Pretty impressive stuff. The Nationals bullpen obviously gotten off to a tough start to the season. 6.12 ERA for that unit as Matt Albers now enters the ball game. Albers has pitched pretty well. The rest of the guys down there have had their struggles, and Mike Rizzo talking to reporters earlier on today saying that it's not a matter of stuff with this bullpen. He said they've got great stuff. They just need to pitch better. He said they've got the track record. I trust them. I believe in them, but this is a performance business, and they need to pitch better between the lines. So he has faith in his guys out there in the bullpen. The Nationals with a couple relievers on the DL right now in Coda Glover and Sammy Solis. But Mike Rizzo believes that they have the arms that they need to succeed. They just need to go out and get the job done, guys.
Thank you, Dan. Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting, and you're right on with Matt Albers. 6 games, 7 1/3, 3 hits, no runs so far. And the thing that we like about him from our vantage point, FP and I have talked about this, the way he attacks hitters. Jay Bruce is 1 for 3 career against him, and Jay's having a big day. Single, homer, 2 RBIs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I like the way he keeps the ball down. He's got a good tempo, but that sinker, he starts bottom of the strike zone. If you want to hit it, it's hard to elevate. Watch, his misses mostly are below the strike zone.
1-2.
Now fastball, slider, curveball change from Albers. The fastball averages 92, two-seamer with some run on it. Pretty much two pitches though, fastball, slider. Rarely uses the curve or the change.
We have had 4 full innings in the book here. There's been 1/2 inning when a team did not score. That was the 1-2-3 bottom of the second. There's Jay Bruce with that active home run among left-handed batters since his rookie year, 08. 3-2. A couple of years down the road, Bryce Harper will make his way onto that list. Three-two pitch. Got him with a breaking ball coming through that back door out there. And Matt Albers fanning Jay Bruce. 5th inning underway. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Yeah, sometimes the best pitch is the slider that doesn't slide. Jay Bruce saw the rotation. He thought, hey, that's going to come back for a strike. Watch, he's going to see the rotation. See the dot in the middle of it? But it backs up. That's called a backup slider because it went the other way. Jay Bruce anticipating it coming back. It didn't. And he got the strikeout.
Here's Neil Walker. They're announcing to the press possible lat strain right side for Noah Syndergaard, and he's heading back to New York. His teammates flying to Atlanta tonight. Two-0 pitch. So Matt Albers becomes the pitcher of record for the Nationals. Yesterday, Zach Wheeler only went 4 2/3. Josh Edgen came in and got Daniel Murphy out, but they gave the win to the following pitcher, Hansel Robles, who went an inning and 2/3. It's up to the scorer, his discretion for who the winning pitcher is in a situation like that.
Well, Terry Collins went out and got Zach Wheeler yesterday before he got to the 5th inning, and he was ahead. He was qualifying for the W. He said, hey, that team's got to win some ball games. They got to do what's best for the 24 other guys. It's not about one guy getting a win.
Yeah, 3-2 ball game when he left after a Zimmerman single.
I think Dusty Baker doing the same thing here today. Saw Joe Ross was kind of hitting the wall. Got him out of there.
3-2, and Albers keeps pumping strikes. 2 Ks in a row of the swinging variety.
Check out this fastball change lanes. I mean, it looks like a strike, right? Look, I'm going to hit this to left. I'm going to hit this to left, and watch the movement late. Just takes off with that arm side run. Good pitch.
Curtis Granderson, 1 for 5 career against Matt. Way out of here, way foul. And ends up in about the 3rd row down by the field.
What's up, guys?
Talking baseball.
That's a nice picker. It's a middle infielder's glove. I like to see kids with little gloves. Learn how to catch better that way. Get those big old baskets. It's hard. Look, he's a gamer. He's ready. Dude, we're getting one. Get ready. Here it comes. You ready? Are you ready? I am.
Oh, 2 with 2 outs. Albers on the attack, and he misses low. Matt from the Houston area, originally drafted by the Astros back in '01. And this one out to left center, Michael A. Taylor. For the first time today, the Mets failed to score in an inning. Looks good for Albers to hang a 0 on that scoreboard. Beautiful Nationals Park. Hot Sunday, ball flying, 19 hits, 15 runs. Nats on top by 5. Great real works due up for the Nats. And it's the top of the order in what they've done in this series. Trey Turner, not a lot of damage, but a couple of hits, and he scored twice. Worth coming alive. Bryce Harper pitched well by the Mets so far. And by the way, the Mets make a double switch into the ball game. 31-year-old Fernando Salas.
Fastball, slider, he'll cut the fastball at times. Changeup is his best secondary pitch. The fastball average is 91.
And Juan Lagares on the double switch, now batting 9th. Curtis Granderson double switched out of the game. Trey Turner.
So in Joe Ross's 3 starts this year, closing the book on Joe, the Nats have scored 14, 15, and 10 runs. So 39 runs of support for Joe Ross in 3 starts.
Crazy. Oh-2 pitch up and away. Turner 1 for 3 career against Fernando Salas. Cardinals, Angels, and now his second go-round with the Mets. 12th appearance. Two. They've really been pitching Trey like up and away with heaters. Potomac Nationals will be back home on Thursday when those Lynchburg Hillcats come clawing into town. Friday, Cinco de Mayo. 703-590-2311 or PotomacNationals.com. Turner takes it upstairs.
When's he up?
Harper's in the hole, then he's right behind him. So. And this ball hit hard to right, going back. Bruce can't get it. Off his glove. Trey Turner into second base. First hit of the day, a leadoff fifth inning double.
Well, you can tell he's trying to go that way the whole at bat. Everything from Salas was away. It looked just like a run back fastball that Trey didn't give up on, squared it up. Nice sound. Jay Bruce gave it a good effort just over his glove. I mean, he might have actually tipped this into the wall. I think it hit his glove, didn't it? Yeah, just out of his reach. Trey Turner will take the leadoff double. And he played it nicely off the wall. I was thinking 3 bags once it got over his head with Trey's speed.
Jason Worth has had 3 good at-bats today. 2 for 9 career against Salas with a couple of RBIs. Big crowd relaxing a little bit. Some welcome shade for the folks on the right field side. Clouds overhead. Good hitting conditions here in the middle of the game at 3:41 local. That's up in the zone. Outer edge, 0-2.
I don't think you try to move the runner here up by 5. You're just taking care of yourself, especially with 2 strikes now. Trying to drive him in. You can pull the ball here. It's okay.
Runner on the move. And Worth the fly ball out to the gap. Trey Turner. Tremendous jump. He'll return on the first out. 2 strikes. Jason had to be swinging. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you. Saw Brian Goodwin late last season. Bit of a slow start. Then he came on in September. And the 26-year-old outfielder. Last 10 games with Syracuse, 11 hits. Driving them in, scoring. And a .286 in his big league career, 22 ball games.
He's a good player.
He is.
He's ready. Call him up.
Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Then he played for the Tar Heels. Bryce Harper, walk, single, 2 runs scored.
It's a good matchup for Bryce. The stuff that Salas features against his swing.
1 career at bat, a base hit, and an RBI against this right-hander.
They're either changing the signs or discussing how they want to pitch Bryce, or maybe both. Trey Turner's been on second base for a few pitches. And middle infielders are really good at figuring out sequences because they have to look in for signs all the time themselves when they're on defense. But all the paranoia with runners on second base nowadays, you see pitchers looking back at him, they look at the runner, if he's doing something, they call the catch. Why wouldn't you just say on a plane ride, sit there and devise a set of signs that are unstealable so that you have confidence as a pitcher to never have to worry about it again, whatever it is, however you make it up. Just sit there with your catcher on the plane, have a pop, and talk about, hey, we get a runner on second, so nobody can steal them. This is what we're going to do. If I put my right finger in my ear, it's a curveball. Nobody will ever, whatever it is. So nobody can ever steal your signs, your location, anything ever again.
When I looked up, the Nats had 2 men on deck, and that's because they just sent Bryce Harper down to first base.
Missed the walk. up here flat.
That's a good thought on your part. I'm like, we can't have two guys on deck. Oh yeah, Bryce just walked. Ryan Zimmerman, single up the middle, ground ball to short, sac fly to right, and this man has a chance to drive in 30 runs or more in the month of April.
So you just walked Bryce Harper to get to the hottest hitter in the whole entire universe on the planet, and maybe other planets too, if there is life on other planets. He's still the hottest hitter on Jupiter.
Ryan 2 for 7 against Salas with an RBI. Runner started, then stopped. Good speed out there. Turner the burner at second and Bryce behind him.
That's why Ryan took the pitch. He thought Trey was going. That was grooved changeup. He saw this and it kind of halted his swing. Watch him look out at Trey right after. He said, "Oh, I thought you were going. I was going to take a strike for you, bro." I used to like it when runners either went or didn't go on second because it's in your background of what you're looking at. And I used to tell guys, please don't fake break at second base while I'm hitting. It's distracting. I can't. I want to take a pitch for you, and I think that's what just happened.
1-1. I mean, he has radar lock on the strike zone, and his bat has radar lock on the ball. Book on Ryan has always been get ahead and then just throw breaking balls down and away in the dirt. And right now he's seeing the ball so well, they're having a hard time getting ahead of him. Two-1. 4 steps, a stroll back to the bag for Trey. Salas taking his time. 2-1 pitch. Just inside enough on Ryan, and he fouls it out of play. Big crowd, quiet, waiting for something loud. Two, and what a swing.
Missed the spot. You see where Rivera was set up? Way outside. They wanted this off the plate away, threw it right down the middle, and that was not a 2-strike hack by Ryan Zimmerman. Check this out. This is a 3-1 hack. Look at the location mistake. Oh, he is letting it eat.
Two with 1 out. Turner and Harper aboard. And Fernando Salas, a very reluctant inning in terms of his work rate right now. You can understand why. Inside, 3-2.
Spitting on borderline pitches. Start the runners here for Dusty Baker, up by 5, bottom of the 5th already.
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, you got 2 guys that can roll out there. You just don't want your hitter to chase a borderline pitch here. That's the reason you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons you would. We'll see what Dusty decides on.
Yeah, he might go Earl Weaver here and wait for the 3-run homer. And here come the Mets conferencing again.
Killing the pace of this game. Maybe that's how you get Ryan Zimmerman out. You just lull him to sleep and hope that he takes a nap in the middle of an at-bat. It's the only way.
(3-2). He's hitting .600. And they are throwing overhand this year. Payoff pitch, 1 out. Runners are moving. Ryan takes another big hack.
Rivera's going to come out. I think he saw Bryce with a late jump. This throw might be going to second on a strikeout, not third. That's the sign he's given where he's throwing. Should it be strike 3?
There they go. Zimmerman left side, and that's going to move both runners. That thing had a lot of overspin on it. Matt Reynolds had to back up. Second and third, 2 outs. Quite a battle. And Murphy is next, first base open.
So yesterday you might have walked Daniel Murphy, but I guess you're doing it today to get to a guy with 2 home runs. Terry Collins playing the right-on-right matchup to the hilt here. It's worked already.
2 intentional walks in the inning.
I saw that one, though. That was cool. Can you show a replay of that intentional walk for me, please?
No, we'd rather see this.
All right. Take some taters. Tony 4 bags today. But base hit his first time up, just a lousy single. But that was an RBI, and now his first home run of the year. A bolt halfway up the bleachers, and then he follows it up the next inning with his second home run of the year. So 3 for 3, 2 homers, and a big day working for Anthony Rendon.
Boy, and his teammates couldn't be happier for him. It's been a struggle. Batting average from .226 to .253 today, and a chance to bust in a couple more.
Yeah, put this one on ice right now with a hit.
He was trying. He's 0 for 1 career against Fernando Salas. Already a Rendon career high, 6 RBIs today, doubling his season total +1. Turner, Harper, Murphy.
He's shocked if they give him anything to pull after 2 home runs to the pull side.
Inside out swing for the foul. Previous high, 4 RBIs. Anthony did it 4 times, including at New York against the Mets back in 14. Way upstairs, and Rivera had to reach. Counts even, 2-2. Here they go again. Fans aren't liking it.
I don't think anybody's liking it. you ask the Mets guys on defense right now, and you gave them truth serum, they'd tell you they hate it. You hate standing out there on a warm day like this forever. You're not ready for the baseball when it's hit to you. I mean, this is some of the worst tempo I've seen all year.
Two-two pitch. Rendon. Ball's got some carry to the scoreboard. Off the top of the board. He's going to clear the bases. And Anthony Rendon has driven in 9 runs today. You know, it's the 5th inning, and he has everything but a triple for a you-know-what.
Yeah, fastball away. He was thinking that way the whole at-bat. You could tell by his foul balls. There's no way they're going to give me something to pull when I've already jacked 2 out of here. So I'm going to take what the game gives me. And he almost went grand slam for 10 RBIs just off the top of the fence. He'll take the double. He'll take 3 more RBIs, and he just put this one on ice, 13-5. Have a day, Anthony Rendon.
Here's Taylor. And that ball gets away from Rivera.
I mean, Terry Collins played the percentages there and got burned. When you have 3 hits and 2 home runs as a player, you're feeling invincible.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know if you're going to get a hit the 4th time, but you know you're going to hit something hard. When you're having one of those days where you're in the zone, big gamble right there by Collins.
Nationals record 9 RBIs in 1 game. And it's the 5th inning. Taylor 2 for 3, lined out the only time they've retired Michael A today. So he has a 5 for 8 series going. And evidently even no Expo ever drove in 9 in a game, so a franchise record for Anthony Rendon. Josh Smoker, former Nationals draft pick and farmhand. Taylor, a foul tip. The Nats put another crooked number on the board. Anthony Rendon has driven in 9 of the 13 runs. 9! And that ball's getting some rest finally. Masson, brought to you by the hotels at BWI.com. Minutes from BWI Marshall, Amtrak, and I-95. Discover the convenience of the hotels at BWI.com. And by WGL Energy. They give you the power to choose your energy company. For low rates, go to wgenergy.com/switch on. Some caramel corn for the rest of this Sunday afternoon.
Is that caramel corn or popcorn?
Yes.
Yep.
And
it was Adam corn.
They're looking like popcorn balls to Adam Rendon right now. Top of the 6th. Here we go again. TJ Rivera, and that's Matt Albers. 17th pitch, 10th strike. He could swoop in, get himself a win here. Rivera has struck out twice, both against Joe Ross. Busted bat, Rendon to his left. Do it all today. Mets box. Reyes triple, Bruce single. That first inning run. Rivera, his first homer in the second. Jay Bruce is 7th in the 3rd. And after Reynolds singled, Syndergaard replaced by Gilmartin, who doubled, and then Conforto for those 2 in the 4th. And by then, it was a 6-5 game. The Nats said enough of this, and they've gone on to score 7 unanswered runs.
He's got so much run on that heater. He started that thing in the left-handed batter's box and ran it back for a strike.
One. I mean, after we saw what he did in the playoffs a couple of years ago, he's got a bat after Wieters in the bottom of this inning, right?
Yeah, I think that might have been an interleague game at Citi Field between the White Sox and the Mets. He had a triple, a game-winning triple in extra innings.
Endearing himself to the South Side forever.
So, yeah, I hope he does hit.
Wow. Loud sound right through the box. Rivera 2 for 3. MLB.TV Premium back better than ever. Watch every out-of-market game in the regular season live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, you get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout, other restrictions do apply. MLB.TV for details. Here's Matt Reynolds. Base it up the middle last time. 22 hits in the game, 18 runs. 2/3 of both totals roughly belonging to the Nats.
He can have a nice off day tomorrow.
Good slider by Matt Albers.
If you have a bad game going into an off day, it's all you think about on the off day. Oh, I struck out twice yesterday. I kicked the ball. You have a good game going into an off day, you don't think about baseball at all. It's just whatever I'm doing with the family, with the wife, with the kids, whatever, I'm having fun, and baseball doesn't really cross your mind. So that's always nice to A, win a game going into an off day, and B, have a nice game. So you just don't have to think about things and you totally check out.
Yeah, guys have been grinding. All that travel on the road trip, late night stuff, and then coming home. Juan Lagares already in the game as the center fielder on deck. Nationals have turned 23 double plays this year, 5th most in the National League. Albers, as FP mentions, often keeping the ball down in his appearances so far. Keeps throwing strikes. 2 down. Third strikeout in 6 batters.
Yeah, look at him give up on that fastball away, and it just comes back to get the outside corner. Do it, Matt Albers.
Yeah, you can even win a game and your bullpen gets beat up if your starter leaves early. So he might be the savior here with a handful of innings or just about, and really get the bullpen fresh for the Arizona series. That's a good hitting ball club. Oliver Perez is up. Maybe for Conforto next. We'll see how Dusty plays it. Matt Albers on a big swing by Lagares. This is a really good center fielder who over the last couple of years since he won a Gold Glove has really struggled at the plate. To the right side. One hopper to Murphy, and Matt Albers puts 2 zeros on the board. Nothing like settling down a wild afternoon. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. That's an energy level I think is a future leadoff man right there.
I like it. A game summary. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Nats way ahead, 13-5. Ryan Zimmerman, Major League leading 29th RBI today. Anthony Rendon having a career day, set a franchise record and counting with 9 RBI. And Noah Syndergaard left the game. The last 2 pitches he threw, he felt a little tweakage right there, and then he threw one more pitch and just kind of broke down. So we hope Noah's okay. I really admire him. I like to watch him pitch, and I hope he's all right. The best thing about him is he's exactly like me. We both hate Mr. Met. Gone on record to say that many times.
Wow. Here's Josh Smoker, drafted by the Nats with their first pick back in 07, 31st overall player taken. Took him till last year to make it to the big leagues. He's 28. And he faces Matt Wieters in the bottom of the 6th. Chris Heise is on deck, so Dusty will be very happy with those 2 innings. 1 hit, shutout for Matt Albers. Wieters against Smoker for the first time. Plus, you also want to get your extra guys some ABs anytime you can.
Nice job, Matt Albers. What's cool is every time we have a pitcher come out of the game, Max Scherzer's talking to him. He's always doing work down there.
That's by 4 over the Phillies, who've lost 2 straight in LA. That ball is roasted to left. See you later. Matt Wieters, 3rd of the year, and the 202 area code is definitely long distance today. Wow.
This ball was straight killed. Fastball right down the middle. Look at the follow through by Matt Wieters. I love the high finish. Hold the pose just for a second. You can't hit him any better than that, Matt.
Wow. Third home run as a Nat, the 120th of Matt Wieters' 9-year career. Here's Chris Heisey. First at bat against Josh Smoker. Hit hard, deep short. Reyes on a bounce. Well played by TJ Rivera to not juggle it and pick it clean. 1 out.
So the second game in Atlanta, the Nats scored 14. The last 3 games in Colorado, 15, 11, and 16. And then today, 14 more. This offense is unbelievable.
Okay, now you look at the box score, and I'm going to tell you what this means, what FP just said. In the history of the National League, the Nationals now have the most 14-plus run games in April. This is the 5th time they've done it. The last team to do 3 was the 97 Braves, the 62 Cardinals, the 30 Brooklyn Dodgers, and the 1900 Phillies. Come on. 5 games this month of 14 runs or more, a National League record.
And everybody nationally was saying, oh, Coors Field, Coors Field. And I'm thinking to myself, well, they've done it away from Coors Field. And yeah, it might have had something to do with it, but it wasn't everything for sure.
Turner a grounder to Reyes. 2 down here in the 6th. I mean, you're happy in April usually when you score 4 runs or more a game. With the conditions, and as FP has noted numerous times, it's been a warm month, except for a couple of games in New York and 3 in Denver. Great offense and the ball going. Worth is 2 for 4.
Did he just walk up to Jimi Hendrix? That was awesome. I don't remember Jason Worth walking up to Jimi Hendrix.
These guys are running out of walk-off songs.
Yeah. Yeah, most of the times you have 4 walk-up songs, but with this offense, you probably need 6 or 7.
They played one of Jason's in the middle of his at-bat last time, huh? 1-1. Ball 2.
So Joe Ross's run support numbers going up too, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
14, 15, and 14 in 3 Joe Ross starts.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
We said it would be news if it happened today.
Worth facing Smoker for the first time. And Worth is aboard for the 3rd time. Bryce Harper, 2 for 4 against Smoker.
Been on base 3 times today, a couple of walks, a single, scored 3 runs. Having a nice day. Trying to add on.
Batting average at .389. Smoker, first pitch breaking ball. That's a loud sound. High fly ball. Jay Bruce having a hard time seeing it. Lagares will take it on a towering fly 5 feet in front of the scoreboard. Matt Wieters hit one way farther than that out to left field to start the inning. And Matt Wieters doing some serious hitting from the right side this year. 14-5.
We cruise, and I mean cruise, into the top of the 7th. Beltway Series presented by Innova pits the Nats against the O's. It's May 10th and 11th at Nats Park, so come on out. Visit nationals.com/tickets today. Those are always great games, always.
And the added element of Matt Wieters on our side this year. That'll be cool. He's done his fair share of damage against the Nats.
Those always have a playoff feel to me.
They do. Here's Everyday Ollie. Going to try to nail down a couple of innings here.
8th appearance, ERA at 4.50. Lefty's hitting just 167 against the fastball slider combo.
Hey, I know. I'm shocked that he's only appeared in 8 games because he warms up nearly every day at some point. Against some former teammates here. Conforto, Reyes, and Bruce, top 7 for the Mets. Great 2 innings by Matt Albers, who stands to get the win eventually if things hold up. Conforto 1 for 3 with an RBI single today. 0 for 2 career against Oliver Perez. That breaking ball ends up way outside. And he throws him another one after turning his back on the hitter. National staff 9 strikeouts today out of 19 outs.
I love his delivery. Just the whoop-de-whoop and sidearm slider. Thanks for coming. 3 pitch, see ya. know I wouldn't want to hit left-handed against that. That's got to be rough.
Jose Reyes from the right side this year. 0 for 14. Pop up as high as us, but nowhere near getting back here. We don't see many that cause us to look up.
I think it should be automatic. Check your bat. If you follow.
If it's higher than us?
If it's higher than us, the ump should call time and say, we're going to check your bat.
Bring out the X-ray cart.
There's no way you could hit one that high.
0-1 to Reyes. It's funny when people come up and visit us and they say, you ever had a foul ball up here?
Yeah.
The only chance is if it says Titleist or TaylorMade or Callaway on it.
You know, it would be cool if we set up a mat up here and teed off.
I have thought about that.
The elevated tee box. Just hit it to where it says, hit it here, Harper.
Yeah. I don't know. According to there, that's like 325 yards out there. 1-2 with one out. And Jose Reyes able to pull one foul. That's 375 and like 1/3 of a yard. I think it's got to be further than 976 feet. I mean, come on.
Oh, they can't just throw up phony numbers like I do every day on the broadcast.
I mean, the wall's 402, and that's 2.5 blocks away from here.
It's got to be legit.
I don't think so. Okay, I will bring the laser finder on Tuesday night.
You can't just put a sign that big on a building and just, hey, let's put 976. What do you think? Does that sound good? No, they measured it. They had to.
I'll be amazed if that's right. What, are you trying to get a free apartment?
Yeah. I'll live there.
1-2 with one out. And Oliver will come with that fastball after he teases you for a while. It's twisting back to Zimmerman. Ryan has plenty of room. 2 outs. Well, word has it that maybe a 50s TV show predicted a Trump presidency and his construction of a wall. WUSA 9 News says they will verify it Monday night at 11.
Analyst awkwardly lays out.
Tuesday night we'll hear from Nostradamus. And that ball is drilled out to right center by Jay Bruce. He'll plug the gap. And Jay's had a good hitting day. He's going to dig for a couple. Good throw by Taylor. And Jay Bruce single, homer, and double. Neil Walker will be next.
5th double year for Jay Bruce. And Ali dropped down, threw him a fastball, and split the gap perfectly. Michael A with a nice play, too. Good throw, right on the money. Bruce hustling in. Down by 9. Playing hard. I like it.
That's Jay Bruce for you. A pro's pro. Here's Neil Walker. Right-handed, 7 for 26. Terry Collins Club does not have a day off tomorrow. They're going right to Atlanta tonight and then playing there. He has his relief pitcher on deck right now. Could be a decoy, but there's Josh Smoker. One, 2 outs. And the breaking ball right in there.
Someone just tweeted me that according to Google Maps, the distance between the building and home plate is 969 feet. So close.
Well, you know, and we have to consider it's home plate to there, not our booth to there, too. So that could be an extra
And the height, too. Maybe that's where you get the 976.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
I'm buying what they're selling.
Okay. That ball's hit. Taylor going back, looking up, reaching, and he's got it 400 feet away. And Neil Walker is 0 for 12 this weekend against the Nats. Whatever the distance is around the ballpark, the Nats have reached about every one there are. Baseball theme music that makes you want to run through a wall for your ball club. And Anthony Rendon off the wall in right center. Because that was a double and not a homer, has a chance for a cycle. What would that be like, 2 in a week after Trey Turner already did it?
Oh, it's so nice to see him getting with the rest of the guys. And we know he can hit. We know he's going to have a good season. Some guys start slower than others. Some guys have bad Aprils and end up having the best year they've ever had. But how cool is it that, again, we're talking about a possible cycle? Trey Turner almost did it back-to-back games. He needed a triple the second game for a cycle. And now Anthony Rendon needs a triple for the cycle today. Just amazing what this offense has done.
Then you have Matt Wieters at the bottom of the order hitting a tape measure home run. The regular guys getting on base. And I think there will be a point somewhere along the line where the absence of Adam Eaton will be felt. But it sure is great that the guys have responded this weekend for Adam like they have. And we want to continue to pay tribute to him as life without him gets underway.
Yeah, and, you know, I said it in the open if you missed it, kind of quoting Ryan Zimmerman yesterday. I like what he said. He said, name me 10 leadoff hitters in the big leagues. You really can't, right? And the Nats are lucky enough to have 2 legit leadoff hitters. So, yeah, you're going to miss Adam Eaton. We're going to miss watching him play. What he brings, I think, the intangibles.
Look at Ryan Zimmerman this time. It's going to one-hop the wall about 395 away, and he slides in with a double. 2 more hits today, and Ryan Zimmerman has 19 extra base hits of his 36. Amazing.
I need some exit velocity on this one. This is shot out of a cannon. First pitch fastball, something he really historically never did throughout his career is jump on the first pitch. He likes to wait it out, see a lot of pitches, but when you're locked in like he is, I mean, he has a chance to hit it off that apartment we've been talking about. Knocking down walls, hitting homers, infield singles. I mean, you name it, Ryan Zimmerman's done it all in the month of April. It's been amazing to see. Look at the series average, 583, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs.
That's 7 for 12. There's Murphy.
When you're that locked in, Carp, he's probably standing on second base thinking, I should have had another home run. Like, I wish I would have got that a little more elevated.
Well, that would have been RBI number 30. And you could hear Murphy, his reaction out loud as the smoker fastball came up and in. He goes for a walk.
That was right under his face. I don't think he's happy. Anytime you come up around the head, whether you mean to or not in the big leagues, it'll get everybody's attention.
Ooh.
That's right. I mean, that's the definition of chin music. Look out, Daniel Murphy.
One ball, one strike. Murphy continues to crowd the plate. 1 for 3 today. A walk, 2 runs scored. Low and away.
That was a look of determination. Did you see his face right there? He's not happy.
Well, he might make him pay with that one. That's into the gap. Zimmerman scores easily. The Nats have 15 on the board, and for Daniel Murphy, his 26th RBI. On double number 9, his 15th extra base hit.
Well, that's the best way to get somebody back if you feel like it might have been intentional, or even if it was by mistake up around your head, is do it with your bat, not your mouth. Daniel Murphy going shopping in the gap. Look at Ryan flying around third. Give me some StatCast on Ryan Zimmerman's speed. That's what I want to see. What do you got? How many miles an hour was Ryan running around third?
And by the way, a standing ovation by a lot of fans with the announcement of Rendon. He has a chance to drive in 10 today.
The chance for the cycle. Where are the triples in Nats Park? Right down the line, maybe to right?
Christian Guzman's in this ballpark was out to deep left center where the Kaiser Permanente sign is.
To the left of the 402 and that little,
yeah,
where the walls meet straight away, I see a triple.
And you know, Guzman was a very good base runner, even batting right-handed like he did that last time up. So you got to get one deep into the gaps as a rule here for 3 bags. Batting average at .261. A rise of 35 points in 4 at-bats. Two and 1.
This offense is so good. As a fan, you might come to a day game and have to worry about the Metro closing.
Better buy some concessions before they close, because it's some long days at the yard. Nobody out in the 7th. 15 runs on 17 hits. All 3. Nats have only failed to score in 1 inning today, the 2nd, when Noah Syndergaard had to leave the game after the first out and then a 2-2 count.
So if you're Anthony Rendon, do you want 3 home runs or a cycle? What would you rather have? I think he just thinking hit it hard. I mean, as a hitter, you're not, oh, I'm going to try to place this triple. You're just seeing ball and trying to barrel up one more time. But what would you rather have?
He could hit a homer and miss home plate on purpose. Ooh, they give him 3 bags. That wouldn't be very professional, though. Anthony's going to take what comes. He's that kind of guy. And, you know, you have to say, when he was hitting under 200, Same mannerisms, same guy we're seeing every day at the yard.
That's the goal, I think, is to get there. But he's thinking, give me a good pitch, and I just trying to hit it hard somewhere.
Director and crew summoning a triple here. 3-2 pitch. Rendon, left field. So he is 5 for 5 today. Murphy wanted to make sure that ball dropped before he headed for third base. Unbelievable day for Anthony Rendon.
That's why this game's so awesome, man. You just don't know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark every day. You have no idea, right? You come to this game, you're thinking they lost the first 2 to the Mets. They're trying to avoid a sweep, and then you see Anthony Rendon with 2 home runs, almost 3 home runs, flirting with the cycle. What a game for Anthony Rendon.
Michael A. Taylor 2 for 4 today. First and third, nobody out. Smoker with a breaking ball.
So Rendon came in hitting .226 to start the game. His average right now after the 5 for 5 is .270.
It's amazing. Well, we talked about this. We're waiting for that breakout game for Anthony. We didn't know it was going to be this big, with 9 RBIs attached to it. Smoker, a diet of breaking stuff to Michael A. right here. To short, and right through the wickets on Jose Reyes. They'll give him an RBI because you can't assume the double play, and then the Mets don't get anybody. Fielder's choice, E6.
He tried to get in front of this. Maybe in hindsight, he goes to the backhand. It looked like that ball in slow motion looked a lot easier. That ball was hit pretty hard. Just couldn't get there. If Anthony Recker were still on the Mets, he'd be warming up right now.
Ian Desmond's old buddy. Matt Wieters on base 4 times today. 2 walks, 1 intentional, a single, and a long home run his last time up. Way up the left field bleachers. Still nobody out. And Wieters to left center. At the wall. It's a 3-run shot. And the Nationals lead 19-5. Have you had enough? It's the 7th inning.
So in the first game of the series, Ryan Zimmerman went deep twice. Travis d'Arnaud went deep twice. Yesterday, Michael Conforto went deep twice. And today, Anthony Rendon goes deep twice. Matt Wieters goes deep twice. If you hit 1, you hit 2 in this series, folks.
Unbelievable. The Nats knocking on 20's door right here. rate hitter. And this is a cool thing. Maybe not for the Mets, the fact that Kevin Plawecki, a catcher, is the new pitcher. But, and there's Plawecki, who has never pitched in the major leagues before. It's the first career at bat at the big league level for Rafael Bautista. Just called up, the Nats' 24-year-old, highly rated draft pick.
You wait your whole life to get to the big leagues? Your first big league at-bats off a catcher?
How about that?
Well, hey, check in with your first knock. Here we go.
He's going to drill one out to right center. Juan Lagares under it, and Rafael aggressively in his first big league at bat, and the fans will give him a nice hand as he goes back to the dugout.
I hit it hard. I mean, the offense is going so good, you're getting a standing ovation for making outs now. I love it.
Brought to you by Jeep, new Nationals record. A crazy game, May 20th of 11 against the Orioles.
Okay, everybody's got knocks. Nice.
This ball is drilled out to right center from Trey Turner. It's going to pin Lagares up against the wall. Even the outs are loud and long, 2 down.
Plawecki getting the job done for the Mets so far.
Using the ballpark, the deepest part so far.
He's using his defense.
Something catchers are always telling their pitchers to do. Wilmer Defoe for Jason Worth to get Jason the rest of the day off. Two and one.
Change up maybe.
I looked up at the scoreboard. There was no MPH registered.
Yeah,
Come on.
I think we're having some difficulties.
Defoe pops it up over the Mets dugout. Three and two. Defoe, the 8th National to bat. And he could get an inning or two in the outfield, Wilmer. He's going to hit a high fly ball to right. Jay Bruce drifting back, checking his surroundings, and he's pinned up against the scoreboard.
Easy game. Use your defense. Throw strikes. Kevin Plawecki, 1, 2, 3.
Take us to break. I'm tired. spade here at Nationals Park. Nats all over the Mets pitching staff today. And there have been a bunch of strikeouts, 9 of them. Washington area Toyota dealers helping children and their families. It's $37 to the Children's Inn at the National Institutes of Health every time a Nats pitcher strikes out an opposing batter. Now it's Joe Blanton's turn. Joe trying to get back on his game.
A fastball, slider, curveball change. Mostly fastball, slider. Cut the fastball in the low 90s for Joe Blanton. Opponent's hitting 350. Lefty's giving him some trouble early this year.
Rafael Batista goes to left field. His major league defensive debut, and Wilmer Defoe in at second for Daniel Murphy. So the Nats pitcher is in the number 5 spot. The Mets pitcher is in the number 5 spot, and Kevin Plawecki might bat here and pitch another inning. Why not?
But if you're Rafael Bautista and you're sitting on the bench today and you're watching this team, you're thinking, man, they can really hit up here, can't they? I mean, he was in spring training. He had a great spring training. I think Nats fans are really going to like the way this kid plays. He flies all over the place, plays with his hair on fire, can really, really run. Go get him in the outfield. He's very, very talented. He's going to get some playing time. As you know, Dusty Baker uses his whole bench.
2-0 from Blanton. And Plawecki can't get to it.
So do they run him out his jacket if he gets on right here?
Maybe a chest protector. That's a good question. Fastball.
Offense is cool, and so is Dusty Baker.
Joe Blanton with a strikeout of Kevin Plawecki. TJ and Rene Rivera, the next 2 Mets hitters. Nats came into this game with the most runs in the major leagues, 147. Now they have 166.
.501, 431. Putting up a phone number today.
Yeah.
We are not in Colorado.
1 scoreless inning at the plate all day.
.501 is Little Rock, Arkansas.
Busted bat to his backhand side, Defoe, and he gets rid of it in an instant. 2 down. Next up, Rene Rivera, who homered back in the second to get the Mets on what they thought at the time was the comeback trail. The Nats were way ahead. 5-1. That made it 5-2. They would make it 6-5 before the Nationals exploded from the 4th inning on.
And just in case you were thinking about turning something else on because it's 19-5, Anthony Rendon hits 4th.
You're right.
In the bottom of the 8th. Just saying.
One ball, 1 strike to Rivera. 2 for 3 today with that homer and a base hit. So first team in Major League history to score 14 or more 5 times in the month of April. Some of those numbers, as I mentioned earlier, went way, way back. No team had ever done it more than 3 times in the National League. Phillies, Brooklyn Robins, Cardinals, Braves.
Somebody tell me on Twitter that Carter Keyboom hit 3 home runs today in Hagerstown.
Wow. Bet some reporters with their use of the language will have fun with that. Blanton with a strike on the inside edge, 3-2. Nats have some good sticks in the minor leagues right now. Drew Stevenson last week, back-to-back 5-hit games. Three-two, and a ball well hit, but hooking foul. Rafael Bautista chasing that one. He's dying to make his first big league play.
Rivera's had a nice day. He's hit the ball hard twice. Remember that line drive he hit back up the middle last time? He had the homer in the second. He is getting his licks in right now too.
Think of what he's put up with behind the plate, watching every pitch of this slugfest as well, when his pitchers have given up 19. That's a long day. 3-2 again. Swing and a miss, and a scoreless inning for Joe Blanton. It's good news for him and the ball club. All right, it's Rendon if Harper, Zimmerman, or the pitcher spot, somebody gets on. Masson, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. And by American Standard Heating and Air. Get up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. Hot day in D.C., the Lincoln Memorial, looking beautiful as always. And several miles to the east, a little bit to the south. It's the bottom of the 8th for the Nats. Plawecki to Harper. Bryce on base 3 times today, 3 runs scored. Bryce Harper to the bleachers. See you later. And that's Bryce. With his 9th home run, the Nats hang 20 on the Mets so far.
And that gets Anthony Rendon another at-bat.
Yes, it does.
I'm telling you, they all count, folks. You can't give at-bats away up here. And if you're facing a position player and he's throwing lollipops in there, you got to do your thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's the other team's problem, not yours. 20 runs. A record for the franchise.
Plus, you can see he gave up a home run to Bryce Harper, like when you're retired someday.
Well, the next time Bryce comes up and Plawecki's catching, they might have something to talk about. Ryan Zimmerman 2 for 4, a sac fly, 2 RBIs. He could still reach 30 RBIs for April. Up and away, ball 2.
He just missed one his last time up, too.
Measly base hit. Ryan Zimmerman, 37 hits in April. There's Adam Lynn to hit for Joe Blanton. There he is. That ball hit a ton out to center. See you later. Adam Lind with his second pinch hit homer of the year. And the Nats have 22 on the board.
I've never seen anything like this. It's not Kevin Plawecki's fault. He's just trying to get some outs, but he's throwing batting practice to the Nats.
Franchise record for runs. Expos had 21 runs in a ball game in '96.
He might hit another home run right here.
22 runs on 22 hits. No talk of a humidor yet here in DC. Strike. 2-1.
He's working fast. He's getting it and going.
Foul tip and the count's even.
Well, he could do something that nobody else has been able to do here today.
Hit 3.
Get Anthony Rendon out. I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Trey Turner just 5 days ago, a cycle at Colorado.
Been a long time since the Nats last cycle.
Last one in this ballpark, Guzman's. Rendon on a pitch up, stays alive.
Twos are wild. Look at that. 22 pitches, 2-2, 22 runs.
Rendon deep to left. It is gone. See you later. And it's 23 runs for the Nats. And Anthony Rendon drives in 10 runs today. Fifth time in Nationals history, a hitter's hit 3 home runs in a game. Obviously a career high for Rendon in just about everything.
You gotta come out, Anthony. Let's go.
He's pretty shy.
They want you.
Michael A. Taylor steps in, takes the ball, and there's Rendon. It's about all you'll get from him. He's pretty shy about things
What
like
a
that.
day, man. I mean, they're making it look easy off Plawecki, but it's not that easy to hit off a position player sometimes. He's just lobbing him in there, but 3 home runs, 10 RBI, player of the week in 1 game.
Taylor, a towering fly to center. So the guy after Rendon makes the first out of the inning when we were hoping it would get to Anthony. And Matt Wieters is next with Bautista to get a second big league at bat.
So homer, single, homer, and then Anthony Rendon getting a high fastball-ish. And there's home run number 3, a day he'll never forget, folks, never.
Well, Matt Wieters 2 homers in a row. And Wieters tees off again, but it's to center for Lagares.
Easy. They all look like they're going out right now. They do.
Garrett Anderson of the Angels back in 07 had 10 RBIs in a game. Anthony Rendon 10 years later with 10. There's Bautista, who saw 1 big league pitch and hit a fly ball to center his first time.
He's thinking, boy, the pitching up here really stinks. I feel bad for Plawecki, man. I mean, he's just trying to get some outs, get his team on the bus, get the heck out of here.
Hey, he's saving his manager's bullpen
I don't care
for the Atlanta series.
Yeah, I don't care, though. You have pride as a major league player. Even if you're not a pitcher, this is hard for him.
Bautista to short. Better hurry, Jose. Guy can fly. And that is it for the Nationals offense today. Watch, listen, and enjoy. For the Nats, and then Tanner Roark Tuesday at 7. The Diamondbacks are in for 3. So Tanner 3-0, 3.64 ERA. And he got a win in Colorado, battled his way through 5 innings, gave up only 2 earned runs last Wednesday. So it's Roark and Walker for the D-backs. We'll get you going, Johnny and Ray, 6:30. Nats Extra, Masson 2 on Tuesday night. Blake Trinan takes over to get the final 3 outs.
Not a save opportunity. I repeat, not a save opportunity. 23-5. That just looks weird. Just looking at the score in the bottom right-hand corner, that just looks strange.
So Adam Lynn stays in to play first base. Matt Reynolds for the Mets. 1 for 3 today.
So it's Sunday. Did you see whose picture I put up next to me over here? Sister Base Hits.
Our friend, Sister Joe Wysocki from Milwaukee.
She worked today. 23 hits, 23 runs.
Now we got to tell her to quit rooting for Eric Thames because our guys are chasing him.
She totally worked. I'm gonna leave her up there.
Two-one pitch.
You know, I'm thinking about it. Anthony Rendon's game might be the best I've ever seen. 6 for 6.
Yeah, with
3
the
home
power,
runs.
RBIs. Yeah.
I mean, it's the best game I've ever seen. And we're going from the Trey Turner cycle to, you know, Bryce doing his thing, Zimmerman's hitting 2 home runs a game, to what Rendon did here might be the best offensive game I've ever seen.
2-2 pitch.
And one of the best in history. Has to be.
Yeah. Two-two. Trinan. Fastball. Got him on the outside edge. 7 home runs in a game also. A Nationals record. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight and Ray's yellow legal pad is probably about 4 pages single spaced long right now. It's the Nats Extra Postgame Show presented by W.B. Mason. Juan Lagares 0 for 1 since coming in to play center field on a double switch. So the Mets will go to Atlanta 10-14, 6.5 back of the Nationals. And the Nats will have an April of 17-8.
See you, Tater. Look at, they're making shirts already.
What a day for a potato bar, huh?
So if Adam Lind didn't homer, Anthony Rendon would have had a chance. Say he got a single instead of the homer, he would have broke the RBI record. 12 is the record. Mark Whitten.
Yeah, because Lind took Zimmerman with him around the bases.
His 4-homer game.
Michael Conforto, 1 for 4 today, RBI single. He's driven in 5 runs in this series.
He's going to be so humble after the game, too, and asked about it. I would just like for him to just once go, yeah, I was the man today. 3 taters, not a big deal. I'll probably hit 3 more tomorrow.
Ain't going to happen. Well, tomorrow, yeah, in the backyard somewhere. 1-1. Blake Trinan took a little bit off that pitch. Don't know if that was a backup slider or a straight change. Not sure I've seen that before. Follows it up with a fastball. Defoe, Turner, safe. That would have been quite a way to end it. Pretty slick up the middle by Wilmer and Trey.
Well, backhand flip right on the money to Trey Turner, making sure it won out, and then slings it to Adam Lind a little high. Nifty little feed, though, and Wilmer had to go a long ways for this. Right on the money. Get the sure out. If you can turn it, you can turn it.
Jose Reyes for the Mets, and there's a ball that hits the mound, hits the glove of Turner, and the series is over. The Nationals, with an unbelievable barrage today, beat the Mets 23-5 and salvage a game of the weekend series. Anthony Rendon, a record-setting day. He drove in 10.